What's going on, everybody? It's Top Bets. We're checking back in. We got our recap stream for week 6. We got the basketball game behind me. We got the Nets and the Bucks season opener. We'll be going back and forth. Looks like the Nets took their head out of their ass and started playing a little bit. VIP is on the Nets money line, so we need to get those guys to cash. Speaking of VIP, only $20 to join. If you guys are new, we are profited over 20 plus units, as you'll see in the graphic after this. For NFL, we have been absolutely dominating. It's only $20 to join. If you would like to, just send me a DM on Twitter, and we'll set you up with a private Twitter group. As always, go into the free Discord. We were talking all night long last night about particular NFL slate, the Monday Night Football that was going on. King Henry absolutely dominated. Didn't have too good of the showdown slate, and as you'll see in the DraftKings results as well, we didn't have that great of the NFL Classic slate. But that's the way it goes. We've probably been over 6 in DFS slates, so we're due for a nice little spike week. So appreciate you guys tuning in. If you guys have any questions, concerns, just general Q&A, throw it in the chat. Love to hear from you guys. And let me know if you guys are tailing anything that I throw out there. Also, make sure you guys check out Occupy Fantasy, guys, right there. Occupy Fantasy link is in my link tree on Twitter. Guys have been killing NBA DFS, NFL, LOL. They got anything that you particularly could want in the DFS landscape. I love those guys. Absolutely know what they're talking about there. So we'll hop right back into the results. So we got week 6. So our on the dot free plays once again come in the red. We went 3-5 for minus 2.45. We actually went 3-3 on the Sunday show, and then I put out 2 prop bets for free for Monday Night Football last night. AJ Brown didn't get there in the touchdown. The other one was, I got to figure out what the other one was, but it did not hit. It was Josh Allen's rush yards. Somehow, some way that didn't freaking hit. He had all the grass in front of him plenty of times and did not end up going and scrambling. So it ultimately ended up 3-5, minus 2.5 units. VIP once again went positive, 6-3 plus 4.87 units on the through week 6. We went 0-2 on Thursday night. We got screwed on the Bucks minus 6.5. Thought I was going to set up for a pretty BS week, but Sunday came around and we went 5-1 for plus 6 units, or 6.35. And then last night we were on the over in the Bills-Titans game. So we ended up 6-3 on the week. So for the total amount, if you follow me religiously, you are 9-8, 2.42 units. So if you only tune into the on the dot free plays, you're probably pissed at me. I'm probably not the happiest. 18-25, minus 6.43 units. So like I said, every dang stream, I'm trying to get those right. I'm going to implement a little bit more VIP plays maybe for that. But VIP is absolutely dominating this season. It's gone off to a really, really good start. If you guys just tune in on Fridays with me and Azim, I kind of talk myself through how I'm thinking in my head, and I kind of bounce it back and forth with me and Azim. Sometimes I give away some VIP plays on the stream, and I just say, oh yeah, I think that might be a play. This might be a play. And if you are watching those streams, hey, is this going to be a VIP play? What do you think about this? What do you think about this? You just get inside my head. You could probably dissect a lot of things. I'm trying to figure out myself throughout the slate and talking to myself through it. But every Friday night, we'll do a stream with Azim. I'll break down my VIP card, and I send it out to VIP as well. So you get all my write-ups, and that has been working out fairly well. 35-21 for plus 20.97 units. Absolutely great start. Obviously, you could script it a little bit better, but I mean, not much. I appreciate that. 20.97 units. I worked my ass off to do that, and to continue. This is like, if you've heard last stream, this is kind of what happened last year, where I got off to a really hot start, and then I got overly aggressive. So I'm gonna stay even keel. I'm gonna stay the same amount of plays or even less plays. Never gonna go above. That was 9 plays in a week. The week before we had 10, 7, 7, and 9 for VIP, and then, so I had 14 the first week. That's when it was kind of, I don't want 14. I don't need 14. It's anywhere between probably 7 to 9 plays from Thursday through Sunday and Monday, probably. Maybe the case. It could be even less going forward. I just want to make sure we get this unit total and it stays even keeled and just keeps continuing to slowly build. We don't need those spike weeks like I want for DFS, since we play high risk. But with betting, you slowly build. And then overall, we're 53 and 46. So if you followed me through VIP, through all my free plays that I give out, 53 and 46 for plus 14.54 units. So you are definitely in the green if you followed every single one of my plays. Have any questions about how I go about documenting? I use Action Network, and then I also have my own spreadsheet that I dissect as well. So screw those bets now. This is DFS. So the DFS results, and if you followed me, watched all my YouTube videos, I've given out a couple good game stacks throughout the week. Throughout these weeks. This week I was horrifically wrong on 2 of them, which was probably the whole DFS landscape, really. It was KC and the football team. Then you have KC, the football team. Then you got the Chargers and the Ravens. Just both were just clinkers. They were horrible to stack. I mean, you could stack the Chiefs side, which ended up cashing me a couple different lineups, which I'll show you guys my best lineup here. But man, it was tough sledding. I feel like I got the running backs somewhat right. I had a little bit more Kareem Hunt than I probably should have, but I was all over Khalil Herbert, all over Mixon. Actually, I switched a lot to Mixon probably 30 minutes before kickoff. I just had just a strange feeling. I loved Mixon this week, and when I built my 20 lineups, I had like 15%. So really only like 2 or 3 lineups, and I'm sitting there like I need to get them a little bit more. So I ended up going 5 or 6, and which paid off for me to cash a little bit more. But ultimately, if you guys have followed me, 20 max is where I'm just playing this entire season of NFL Classic. I do a couple 3 max lineups, but I'm getting out of those. It's tough to build 20 lineups and say, oh, these are my best 3. It's tough to do that. So I'm only doing 20 maxes. Put 205 in, only cashed out 49, so we lost $156, and we cashed on 15% of our lineups, so not very good whatsoever. But that's the DFS landscape there. You're going to have very good streaks, and we are on very bad streaks, and we are on a particularly bad streak right now. I mean, I had a profit in week 2, which was $8. But for the most part, I've been in straight red. Typical. If you're playing high risk lineups, this is typical. I'm not discouraged. Does it piss me off? Yeah, a little bit, but I'm not discouraged necessarily because I have my process, and I know that with the process comes results. When it comes to the DFS landscape, you just have to keep going after it. You can't just be discouraged, and you also can't like this next week, if I have a really good feeling, I'm not going to put double the amount of money. I'm not going to put $400 into this slate. I'm just going to keep putting my 245 in it that I've been putting in, or 205, and then play my same particular contest. So that's just a little bit of advice for guys maybe who are just struggling. I've had a couple people DM me and say, "Hey man, I need some advice on DFS lineups. I've been struggling." Yes, everybody struggles with DFS. It's incredibly hard. That's why there's pros of the pros. And we're trying to give out strategies here and there and help everybody out. And people kind of clap back at me a couple times where they're just like, "Hey man, thanks for the shit strategy." And it's just like, it's how it goes in DFS. So you got to be thick-skinned. You got to be able to bankroll manage. It's kind of like betting. You see a lot more success with betting unless you are Book It with Trent. Shout out to Book It. Shout out to Trent. The guy's I've known him for a little bit, and he's going off right now. He's on a little bit of a bad streak. Feel for him, but shout out to him. So I'll just give you guys what I ended up cashing with. This was the 3x1, and I had Humphreys as my run back. Probably when I was going through it, I was gonna have De'Ami Brown, but he wasn't. I didn't know if he was active or not, and I just felt like Humphreys was gonna have some kind of like silly, stupid kind of Cole Beasley game like last night, and he was a clunker. One reception for -4 yards. He caught like a bubble screen and got tackled. I'm just like, this is what I've got for the run back. But it was Mahomes, Hill, and Hardman. Hardman could have had an even bigger day. He had a couple instances where he could have absolutely taken it to the house. Ended up not doing so. And then Tyreek had that touchdown, and he came back. He got hurt and came back. But Mahomes got me there with 27 points. Mixon, 26. Darrell Henderson was a key part there. And then Khalil Herbert. I mean, I had the running back position on point. I liked what I had there. I had a little bit more of Kareem Hunt than I probably should have. That's part of it. But, I had Andrews, Kelsey, Komet, Tanyan, and one other guy that was in my player pool for tight end. Andrews ended up being my best one. Basically, I just didn't. My run back in my stack wasn't the glue. It didn't hold it together. Didn't go off as if you saw the guy. Let's see the guy who went and won this. So he had Cousins, Cook, and Thielen, and then came back with. Do you have anybody from Carolina? Nope, nobody from Carolina. Yeah, so he just had a 3-0 Viking stack. So, and if you did tune into my YouTube videos, I said I was going to stack the Cousins and Darnold game, and I did, but it was like 2 lineups because I didn't trust it. And this game sneakily really got into overtime and got to be a little bit of a shootout. So kudos to you guys. And man, I did say on Sundays on the dot stream that Dalvin Cook had a lot of leverage this week if he were to go off because he was so cheap. He was 7,700 and he was 7.5% on. So incredibly cheap. I can't believe I didn't play him at all. That's just the way it goes, though. There's too much value. But then you got to think about the leverage and whatnot. So let's see. Let's check on that. So halftime, 66-59. There we go. 66-59 Bucks Nets. Okay. And then we got some waiver wire pickups. If you guys are into that. Zach Ertz probably be top one for me if you have not got him. Bateman will have some role down the stretch. A couple other ones. Who got hurt? Hunt got hurt. So then you're going to have Dearness Johnson. I think I said that right. But yeah, Zach Ertz is the big one there. If you need a running back, Dearness Johnson is your guy there. Let's go to the contest for Fantasy Labs and see how the pros did this week, or the millionaire winner. Look how he did, or she. $20 football Millie Maker. Okay, so yeah, the field. So Kareem Hunt was the biggest bust of the entire slate. He had 32% ownership, and he got 10 points. So if you rostered Kareem Hunt, you were pissed off. And once again, if you've tuned into these streams, you've seen that you don't have to max out the Millie Maker. Unless you're a pro, unless you have your bankroll, pretty much allows you to, don't. Because everybody who wins the Millie Maker goes high in the Millie Maker it has like one or two. So then the top 6 right here all have one or two lineups. The top 6 people have one or two lineups. It's a lottery ticket, 100%. But I mean, I would trust myself with this lottery ticket because you can control who you put in the game. You can't control what the outcome is, but you can prepare and research more than what just a scratch off or a true lottery ticket. These, if you want to just throw $20 in here, I think it's a no-brainer. You've seen it, and this guy's lineup right here. I'm going to move myself really quick. And he basically stacked, he didn't really stack many. He just had that Baker to Donovan Peoples-Jones, who's 0.9% owned. Then he had the double tight end we discussed in the Discord. This was one of my questions that I got in my DMs was, I really, really like double tight ends. I am so against double tight ending because it doesn't have that much upside. Sure, you can put Kelsey and Fant there, and Kelsey's probably an exception to the rule because he acts like a receiver. But you're not gonna win long term, I guess, if you're playing that route. So I don't suggest it. There's not as much upside. Obviously, this is your one variance here, but ultimately, it's not a solid strategy. But a lottery ticket hits, so congrats to this guy for winning $1 million. You got Taylor, Mixon, and then he had Lamb, Thielen, and Donovan Peoples-Jones. So we did have not a particular game stack that I would recommend a 3x1, but absolutely dominated it. Let's look at some the game stacks. So this is what I always talk about, game stacking. And biggest one was Khalil Herbert and Devontae Adams. But my game stacking, what we talk about, what Occupy Fantasy talks about all the dang time, is game stacking 3x1. If you follow a lot of people that know what they're talking about DFS, baseball and football are correlated equally when it comes to stacking. So you're gonna stack a lot in those games. But I'm trying to see. Okay, so the highest one, this one makes so much sense, is Heineke, Tyreek, Terry, and Ricky Seals-Jones Jr. And that was 0.6% of the field. This is the highest I've ever seen it. Was 0.6, which means 0.6% of the field ended up game stacking, which it's not a lot. So if you just game stack, don't worry about chalk running backs, don't worry about chalk receivers, worry about your game stack, make sure that hits, and then whatever pieces around it goes, because no one's going to duplicate it. So and then the next one would be the Ravens, Jackson, Brown, and Andrews, and then Allen. So makes sense. Those are the two favorites, two cheaper quarterbacks to get your more expensive receivers in there, and then cheaper tight ends. So makes a lot more sense there. Let's see what still they're using a lot of the salary. Don't want to use. I try not to leave 400. I can leave anywhere between 200 to 300. Just try to use all of it. There's no reason to, unless you're really, really stuck on a guy, just try to use all of it. This was a little bit different. This was the slate, I guess, to be a little bit different there. And with the value at running backs, this makes a lot more sense, seeing that there was the flex position occupied a lot more by the running back position. Usually it's like 50-75% all wide receivers because their pricing is so dang low. You could get somebody for like 3,000 to 4,000 and goes off. But Khalil Herbert, the fact that he was 4,600 probably had a lot to do with the top 1% going to 40% in their lineups, having a running back at flex. And this was even high. I mean, 20% for the tight end. So Ricky Seals-Jones was the outlier here. That's why that was the case. So when you do have those cheaper options, maybe those always flex. The running back rule gets put aside. Still, I think the running back or the wide receiver position is the most upside, has the most upside in football DFS. So Let me know if you guys have any other questions. I'm here for probably another minute or so. We'll record our first look video to DFS Week 7. Look at who we can target on that route. And then Friday night, we'll be back again, me and Azim, who actually we just took down the Who's That Capper tournament together. Supposed to get some type of tweet exposing that. It's kind of been on the down low, but we beat out a couple other teams for that. But it was like a month long. I think we ended up netting like 7 or 8 units. So won that. So shout out to Azim, and tune in every Friday. Me and him will go after it again, dissect the entire Sunday slate, Sunday night game, and a Monday night game as we keep diving into the season. So and then also Sunday morning, 10:30 a.m. on the dot, free picks, props, everything like that is coming your way again. And then also, if you guys want to join VIP, if you guys are re-watching this, just DM me on Twitter @.bets, and we'll get you all signed up on the VIP account. So I appreciate you guys tuning in. I'm gonna get up and out of here, shoot that YouTube video, and we'll see you guys.